What is the Tucson real estate market doing in 2026? Today, we're going to be going over all the market stats for the month of March in 2026 in Tucson. If you're wondering if it's a good time to buy or to sell, we're going to give you all the statistics, average days on market, average sales price, whether we're up or down from March of last year. So before you make a buying decision or a selling decision, watch this video and check it out. We're going to give you the real statistics right off the MLS and all the statistics that you need to make a great choice, whether you're buying a home or selling a home in 2026. I wonder if it's a good time to buy or sell in Tucson right now. And if you're wondering what the market's going to do in 2026, we're going to use the market statistics that just came out for the month of March to help you decide what the rest of 2026 is going to look like. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Watch to the end of the video to find out. It's Pete Peterson, CEO for the Stratton Real Estate Group. We've helped over 3,500 families buy or sell a home with our business. We have over 1,000 five-star Google reviews, and we just helped our 100th family purchase a home in 2026. If you really want to know what's going on with the real estate market in Tucson, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We post a video every week. This one is going to be on the 2026 market statistics. Super excited to be going over all these market stats. So we're going to walk you right through the statistics that come off of the MLS and the Tucson Association for Realtors. So you're getting a really good picture and a deep dive into what's really going on in the market. I think a lot of times when people talk about, like, is the market good or is it bad, they talk about the entire Tucson market. But that isn't necessarily the information that you need to know. You need to know the information both in the area that you're interested in and also in the price point that you're interested in. So we're going to break down those numbers a little bit today so you get a better view about what's going on in the northwest side of town versus the northeast versus the southeast versus the southwest. So let's do a deep dive into these numbers. We're going to go through this quick. Pay attention. We're going to get you the numbers that you're looking for. Okay, so here's the first page. It kind of outlines everything, kind of highlighting what's going on in the market and kind of giving us a macro view. As you can see, we've had 1,348 sales. We're down about 3% from March of 2025. Our median sales price is exactly the same. We're still at $365,000. We've had over $623 million in sales volume, which is almost exactly what we had this time last year. And the average price point has shifted just a little bit up. We're up about almost 3% from March of 2025. And our average price per square foot is still at that $229 per square foot. I was in California this last week, and it's amazing the difference in the price per square foot of a home that you can buy in Tucson, Arizona versus what you can buy in Southern California or Orange County. So if you're watching this and you're from the West Coast, you're going to be really interested to see these numbers because it's a drastic difference from what you guys are used to in your market. Our median days on market, we're at 35. We're down about 5 days on the median days on market. And probably the one statistic, macro statistic that's a little bit important for all of us is the number of new listings that have come on the market. We're down about 8% on the number of listings that have come on the market March of this year versus March of last year. And our asking price is about the same. So when you take a look at this chart, we're going to walk you through a couple statistics. I think one of the big statistics to see is velocity of sales. And I don't know that that gets talked about very often. So as you can see on this chart, here in January of 2026, which is just a few months ago, we had less than 1,000 homes that sold. And you can see that through February and then into March, we're up to 1,349 homes that have actually sold in the market. So going from 977 sales in a month to 1,349 sales in a month in a 90-day window is a pretty significant uptick in the total number of home sales during the month of March. And that definitely speaks to what's going on in the market. So when people ask, what's the market doing? Oh my gosh, from January, it's fantastic, right? We're seeing a 40% increase in the total number of sales. So when you take a look, let's break it down by price bands a little bit because it kind of matters, what buyer demand is and what they're looking for and the price bands that they're looking for. So if you're a seller and you're in that $300,000 to $400,000 price range, you can see here, that's the highest demand price range that there is in the Tucson market currently. We had 412 sales in that price band. And you can see down here, the 800 to 900, basically to $1 million. There was only 59 sales, but you're going to see here in a minute where I'm going to show you that price band their total sales volume is up by 55%. So if you're in that price band between $700 and $1 million and you've been thinking about selling, right now might be a really, really good time because the total number of demand for that price band is up by 55%. So we'll take a look at that here in a minute. So you can see here, this is just another chart showing the jump from January to the middle of March and the total number of buyer demand sales. And you can see that there's been a huge uptick. And you hear people talk about interest rate all the time. Oh, the interest rates are too high. My friend bought a home and they paid, during COVID, they got an interest rate for 3%. Those days are gone. The 30-year average for a 30-year fixed mortgage rate in the United States is 7.48%. We're currently right at 6%. So as you can see this, we have finally gotten past that belief system of I'm not going to buy a house because I can't get a 3% mortgage, right? You can see that if you can get a fixed rate mortgage 30-year for 5 3/4 to 6 1/4, you can see that buyers are jumping in there. So if you're a seller thinking that's kind of your limiting belief, you need to kind of rethink that because the numbers show us something completely different. Buyers are out in the market and they're buying homes. Now would be a great time, especially since there's lower inventory in the market. The next graph that we're looking at here, you can see is our average days on market and our median days on market. So the top orange or red line is our average days on market. The bottom one is our median days on market. And you can see where the median days on market has actually taken a pretty significant drop. So in March of 2023, our average days on market was 19 days. So you can see that it's definitely taking a couple months to get a home on the market and get an accepted contract compared to 2023 and 2022 when it really was only taking a matter of a couple weeks. So expectations around pricing and making sure that you're priced correctly. If you're selling a home, that you're not overpriced, that you understand it's going to take a couple months to get there. But if you're overpriced, you're going to be chasing the market all the way down as we kind of shift through this market with both the interest rates and buyer demand and then lower inventory. And so you can see here, this is that buyer demand that we were talking about. You can see here how the price band between $300,000 and $400,000 significantly outweighs any other price band. So what you're looking at here is the total months of supply. So when we talk about whether it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, we see 6 months worth of inventory. So that's the number of homes that need to come on the market versus the number of homes that are being sold in the market. So a balanced market is 6 months worth of inventory. And what you're looking at here is based on price range. You can see the total number of months of supply, starting from anything from 200,000 down all the way up to 1.4 million. You can see here where there's a heavy buyer demand is really above 1.4 million. There's 8 months worth of supply of inventory above 1.4 million. Every other price band in our market is still a buyer's market. We're not to that 6 month mark yet. So you can see here, even at $1 million, there's only 4 months worth of inventory. And then you can see everything between basically 400,000 and 1.1 million is right at that 4 month worth of inventory band. So if you're still thinking about getting into the market, you can still get a good interest rate. We've got a great lender partner. They've got some great options, no down payment programs, the DPI programs that are not dependent whether you're a first-time home buyer or not. And you can see that you can still ask sellers for some of the concessions that you'd like to see as a buyer, and inventory is down. So you're a little bit limited on the total number of homes compared to a year ago, but you're still in a buyer's market where you can ask for some concessions based on the total number of months on market. So back to the question about whether is the market good or bad? Well, a lot of that depends on the total number of pending sales. So the chart that you're looking at here is basically looking at, if you go back to November of 2025 through today, the last 5 or 6 months, you can see the velocity of the number of pending deals that are coming on the market, and you can see that the market is picking up. We've gone from 783 back in November to over 1,150 in the month of March. So you can see that the market is starting to pick up as we kind of come through our normal seasonality. and it's really a good, healthy market, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and it really will come down a lot to the real estate agent that you pick to help you navigate, negotiate, and go through the sales process on either side. So the chart you're looking at here, so we talked about both price band, area, and also the size of home that you're looking for. And you can see that homes that are in that 2,500 to 3,000 square foot range, the total number of sales between March of 2026 and March of 2025, it's up 57%. So you can see that people that are looking for a home in that price range, there's just a lot more velocity than compared to this time last year. Alternatively, you can see that homes that are in that 1,000 to 1,500 square foot range, it's almost flat. The total number of sales March of this year versus March of last year is almost identical. So now let's take a look at the area. So which area of town is really on fire? So you can see here from the most active to least active, you can see that the northwest side of town, Marana, are they talking about like that? That's our new growth corridor. You can see that they're up over 18% in their sales volume, and the median sales price is up as well by 23%. So if you're looking up in that northwest side of town and you're a seller, compared to this time last year if you had contemplated selling, it's really, really good time. Total number of sales is up, the price per square foot is up, it's a really good time. And if you're a buyer, you need to have some really good expectations. If you're a buyer in that area, some really good expectations about maybe what's going on in that market, specifically when you're making an offer, to make sure that your offer gets accepted by that seller. If you look here, central and east is actually down. The central at about 16% and the far east side it is about 12%. And then the far southwest side is down about 13%. So if you're looking in central, east, or southwest and you're a buyer, you might have some more leverage with some asks around concessions from a seller just because they're not seeing the same growth and the same velocity that the northwest side of town is experiencing. So let's just kind of wrap up everything that we just went through. So here's the scoop, guys. The Tucson market is not crashing. If you're a buyer, you've got a lot more leverage right now than you've had in years because it's been such a seller's market for so many years. If you're a seller, you're getting the advantage of the uptick in seasonality and velocity, but you got to be priced right out of the gate. And so if you're looking at what's going on in the market overall and people ask you, well, the average median price is $365,000. It's almost flat compared to March of last year. Average days on market are up just a little bit, so it's taking a few more days to sell. So it's kind of one of those markets where having somebody that's really, really good at what they do represent you in this market to negotiate and help you get the best, whether you're on the buy side or whether you're on the listing side. And so we're looking at a market that's really, really stable. The market's solid. The market's not crashing. Tucson has been a great inbound location for a long time for a lot of people in other areas of the country. We have amazing weather, 360 days out of the year. We've got great employment. We've got a good, solid real estate market. That $600,000 price band and above has quietly crept up and has really picked up volume and velocity. But most of our market is really done in that $300,000 to $450,000 price range. That's where most of the volume is here in the Tucson market as far as sales go. So here's the scoop. We do this video every single month. It's our market update for the month of the year that we're in. And if you really want to know what's going on in the market, subscribe below. Stay tuned to us. Check out our other videos. I'm Pete Peterson with the Stratton Real Estate Group. We'd love to be of service to you, your family. Like it, subscribe to it, stay on top of it, and we'll keep giving you the real market stats so you really know what's going on in the Tucson real estate market.